the chances Russell Wilson is on the Seahawks Week 1?
Yeah, well, you guys know I was there. I met a lot of people there. A lot of people in that Seattle Seahawks organization, a lot of people in Russell Wilson's camp, and he does have a camp. He has a full staff. And why does he have a full staff? Because he wants to be great. He's one of the most disciplined guys I've ever been around. He's an ultimate competitor, and he wants to win, and that's what this is about. But I truly believe that the better option for him is to stay in Seattle. The grass isn't greener on the other side. These two need to sit at the table and really talk it out. Like, stop texting each other, stop trying to talk through different people. Find somewhere. Pick an undisclosed location and sit down and try to work it out. Like, you have a great coach, and y'all have a great quarterback, and y'all have a great working relationship. And I guess, Coach, I have a question for you. Is like, when you see this situation, you're the coach, I'm a player. Like, what's in your head right now? Like, you got this guy in Russell Wilson who's saying, Coach, I love you, I believe in you, but I just think that on the offensive side, we can tweak some things. You want to run the ball on first, second, third down, it feels like. And what we want to do on the offensive side, we want to open it up. I am the best player on this team. I'm the best player this organization has ever seen. Can you build this around me? How do you have this conversation with your player?
Well, Brandon, I don't understand what he's looking for exactly. That's my biggest issue here. They've won 9 games, at least 9 games every year since he's been there. They've been to the Super Bowl, twice? They've won it once. And what input is he looking for that he doesn't have now? I know Brian Schottenheimer. He was my offensive coordinator in New York. Great guy. I'm sure he worked with Russell Wilson week in and week out on the game plan. And I know the new offensive coordinator and the new run game coordinator as well, and they're great guys, and I'm sure they'll work with Russell Wilson on the game plan as well. So what does he feel is missing from what Seattle is giving him, and why does he feel he doesn't have a voice? I don't understand his frustration.
I love this right now. I love this right now because this is the dynamic between player and coach. So you got guys that are active, and you have 2 retired guys, me and you. So I'm Russell Wilson, Coach. This is what I want. I want to be protected. Like, why haven't you drafted one offensive lineman in the first round in 9 years? I am the most hit quarterback in the National Football League. Yes, Coach, I appreciate you giving me Shoddy. I love Shoddy. But you keep controlling Shoddy. You keep telling Shoddy to run the ball on first down, to run the ball on second down. You are a defensive guy. You keep investing in the defensive of squad, and then you're bringing me Brandon Marshall in year 13 when he's on one leg. You're bringing me Greg Olsen, and you're paying him $6 million. And he gives me six weeks of production. So, Coach, yes, I love you, I respect you, but I need help.
Well, look, I know another defensive guy in New England that consistently people said didn't bring his quarterback enough weapons, and they won 6 Super Bowls, and he's a guy that wanted to play defense, and he's a guy that asked different things from his quarterback week in and week out. The one thing about the NFL is it's not a league where you can do the same thing all the time and expect the same results. You've got to be able to adjust. You've got to be able to do things not only year in and year out, but game in and game out. And sometimes that's going to call for running the ball. And sometimes that's going to call for winning the game on defense. I just don't understand what input he feels he doesn't have in the game plan that's limiting him. And let's just talk about sacks for a second. Sacks aren't only a function of the O-line, especially when you're looking at some of them.
Yes, he creates some of those.
An 8-year or 9-year cross section.
Hold on, Nick. One second. No, I was there.
Yeah,
here's the situation, Coach. Now, I know because I was there. So here's the reason this offense doesn't thrive. On first down, you're running the ball. Second down, you're running the ball. On third down, we're running the ball again. And if we have to pass the ball, we're taking shots. Okay, and we're talking about keep right, and we're talking about pylon crossers. We're talking about big shots. We're talking about corner post corners. That's what they're doing. Tyler Lockett averages 18 yards a catch. There's no mid-range game. The quick game really is just slant. That's all it is. There's no screens. There's no bubbles. So he's holding on to the ball. So it's more to the story. You got to peel back the layers and really understand it. And that's why these two need to sit down and work on these things and figure it out.
And if you're in this situation, if you're Russell Wilson and coach is Pete Carroll, I'm going to be the mediator here, because I do think coach is right in that some of those sacks are on Russell Wilson. There's no denying that. But it's also right the Seahawks have been dead last over Russell Wilson's career in money spent on the offensive line. They don't draft offensive linemen high, and it's not a coincidence he's hit a bunch. But that, I don't think, is actually the real issue here. I think that is a tangential issue. And this is what I want to go back to Coach, because, Coach, I know you know this because you and I have texted about this. When you say, when they were letting Russ cook at the beginning of the year, and then they went on that streak, and I think you text me, sometimes when you let a guy cook, he burns the kitchen down. It was something like that. It was very good, funny Mangini humor. You and I both know that that there is such a thing as Pete Carroll football. And that is what Russell Wilson wants to adjust. And I do think it's fair to say, Coach, when you talk about New England, one of the things New England did brilliantly forever is game plan specific. Some games they would go in and be like, we're going to run the ball 45 times. You can't stop us. We're going to have that no-neck fullback. We're going to punch people in the mouth, and we're going to run it. And the next week, they might come out and throw the ball 50 times. It's got to go both ways in this regard, and I think this is where Russ's frustration is. We did Pete Carroll football for 8 years without any question about it. We had massive success early, not as much success late, lost a playoff game that you and I argued about against the Cowboys when they just kept running the ball in the line of scrimmage. You then adjusted for 2 months to Russell Wilson football. I had a bad couple weeks, and you're like, nope, we got to go back to it. So that's what I think he wants, because you would agree there is a Pete Carroll style of football that Seattle has run, and I think Russ wants to tweak that. The question is, do you think Pete Carroll should be willing to tweak it more than just temporarily in September and the beginning of October and try to turn more of the offense over to Russ? Because that's what he wants.
Well, what I also think is that Pete Carroll is being unfairly categorized here, and the offense is being unfairly categorized. There's been more than one offensive coordinator through that time span who brings different ideas, and the concept that the quarterback doesn't have a immense impact on the game plan is wrong. Even your backup quarterbacks, your young quarterbacks, the offensive coordinator and the head coach, you want to run stuff they believe in. And when you're a great quarterback like Russell Wilson is, you have even more input on what's going to be run and what's going to happen. And it's just so hard for me to believe that they can't have a conversation or get to a place that makes sense for both parties. Pete's not an unreasonable guy. I've known Pete for years, and I don't think Russell Wilson is an unreasonable guy either. This just seems to be a misunderstanding that should be easily fixable.
All right, it was a lot of back and forth. I want to leave. I want to leave with this. It's simple. All right, from Russ, protection, and then also, I want to be great. Like, the guy want to be great. That's what he keeps saying. I want to win a Super Bowl. He's not comfortable sitting at the Super Bowl, accepting a Walter Payton Man of the Year award and seeing Tom Brady hoist his 7th Lombardi trophy. That's who he is. Everybody knows that. He says that. He wants to be great. And what's not great for him is handing the ball off over and over and over again. So when we talk about what does he want, he wants to open it up. And what happened? He was opening up. He had a bad month. And then all of a sudden, we go back to handing the ball over and over and over again. These guys need to sit at the table and figure it out.
Brandon, on my